Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Could somebody confirm that you can see and hear me, please? Oh, I pinned this comment because I like this idea. To put questions in caps, and then anything that's not a question in lowercase. Ooh. Can somebody confirm if you can see and hear me, please? Okay, thank you, Kim. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Thank you to my mods for being here. That was a terrible shuffle. All right, we're going to start with a pick a pile. So pick a number 1 or 2. Pick a number 1 or 2. If you pick number 1, we see that you are on the brink of a breakthrough that you have been patiently waiting for. A situation is about to come full circle. The lessons have been learned. This is a win-win situation for you. Trust that we are working behind the scenes to ensure the best outcome for you. And if you pick number 2, you are doing your best, and that is enough. Any difficulties you face will not last forever. Release the thoughts and feelings that don't feel good. Focus all of your energy on love, happiness, and your hopes and dreams. All right, I'm going to scroll back to the top. I'm going to try and do short answers so I can get to as many people as possible. Any message from my spirit team? Something I need to work on. Taking action towards, I want to word this as like taking inventory of either like finances, like where's money coming in, where's it going out, or just your life as a whole. 2 of Wands is reversed, so it feels like there's like a lack of direction in something, and with the King of Wands, there's action needed. So action towards taking inventory of what is stressing you out so you can get an accurate like mapping of what needs to happen. What is going on with my health? Legs and face swelling. I feel like you've maybe gotten an opinion or you've gotten something looked into and there's been some kind of treatment, but it hasn't helped that, or you've made some kind of lifestyle change and it hasn't helped that. How do I want to word this? It almost feels like your body's having trouble filtering something out and then just holding on to something that's irritating another element. I'm not wording that right. Almost like an allergic reaction, but not an allergic reaction, just like an irritation from your body holding on to too much of something that's causing, like, for example, if your body was holding a lot of water and then that was causing like pressure to expand all the way, like when you're breathing or something. It's something, a combination like that. I would say this is something that is better to get looked into sooner rather than later, because it feels like there's a solution. It feels like there's a solution, but if you let it go too long, it feels like it's going to cause more issues, if that makes sense. The song is Chess by Nate Rose. Oh. Something that hasn't been going in your favor is about to go in your favor. Something that there wasn't closure from in the past, or something that's holding you back from moving forward in some way, Justice and the Emperor, because of some kind of action you took, something's about to switch in your favor here. It's like a road opener type energy. How does my daughter really feel about her fiance? Is she happy? I would say she feels like this person is a soulmate or a counterpart with Temperance, but there's also some energy of like, I feel like I can't all the way open up or say certain things or maybe have a difficult conversation. It's like something's taking longer than I would like. Emotionally, fiance. I feel like she feels like they are a good match. She feels like she's making the right decision, but there's also this energy of like, okay, well, once we're officially married, I can open up in the way that I'm holding back right now. There's like some hesitancy emotionally, but besides that, it feels like she's happy. But it feels like holding back because of feeling like if I have a difficult conversation now, am I going to mess up the trajectory of the wedding type thing? So once we're married, I can open up more in that way that I feel like I have to hold back right now. Am I really seeing the crowd of people around me? Are they my ancestors? What's the messages they are trying to give me? Am I really seeing the crowd of people around me? Ace of Swords is reversed, but then we have two Knights upright. It feels like you're receiving some kind of download, and it's projecting into your mind as what you're seeing, but it's more of the message that's coming through rather than what you're seeing, if that makes sense. So we have two Knights here. So the message is what's important. Lack of information, bringing information down into the 3D. It feels like it's relating to whatever that positive change is that I just referenced, or whatever's going in your favor. The foundation being built for the message to be received and utilized. I would say it's nothing to be scared of, but it's also not maybe what it seems. It's more of like something that needs to come in, and your mind's trying to project how it would make the most sense to you. Is it okay to still put my mother and godmother's ashes at their old home, her new residence? Her new residence. I feel like they may let you, but not really want you to. Wheel of Fortune and the Lovers make me feel like yes, but this Two of Pentacles is throwing me off, and the confirmation is the Nine of Swords here. You may feel like, I don't know, like you might get a weird feeling from them after you speak to them about this. I do think that they're going to let you, but you also may feel weird about it for some reason. Three of Cups celebration. I feel like they'll let you. Just they may be, I don't know, not giving off the best energy. It's almost like they don't want to say yes, but they will say yes, but they're going to almost like let you know through their energy that they would rather say no, but they're saying yes, if that makes sense. My dog Walter hurt himself over the weekend. Do you think he's going to be okay? Just the vet later today. I feel like there's going to be some kind of issue here. Seven of Cups is reversed. So I feel like the doctor's going to know what it is that's the issue, but I feel like there's going to be an issue. Wands in reverse, but there's a solution, problem and solution. So do I feel like he hurt himself significantly or to the point where they're going to be able to be like, okay, this is what's hurt? Yes. But I also feel like there's treatment. About your past life. Yeah, this is like we have nature, worship, children, and bully. It feels like with the Five of Cups in reverse, healing from the bully. This is like some kind of rescuing of people who are not able to rescue themselves. Temperance in reverse from some kind of recklessness or imbalance. Three of Pentacles in reverse, taking you away from the group. This is like rescuing children or rescuing people who couldn't get out of a situation on their own in some way. That may show up in this lifetime as, I always forget what that's called, hypersensitivity to injustice, especially when it comes to vulnerable parties. You tell me if my issue is grief or depression. Grief. Depression. Grief coming from something that you feel like there wasn't closure on. Five of Pentacles is reversed. So life kept going and I never got to really fully transmute the energy of whatever was causing grief. Two of Wands to me is both. I feel like depression is heavier of the energy. We have Queen of Wands and Justice both in reverse. So I'm not feeling like myself. I'm feeling imbalanced here. I do feel like it's depression, but I also feel like not that the depression is caused from the grief, but there is grief as well of something that there wasn't closure on because life kept going. And that could be closure from another party, or that could be closure from unprocessed emotions relating to whatever initially caused the grief. Will my husband's weight loss be a success? I feel like something in the strategy is going to have to change in order for it to be a success. Almost like either his ability to stick to it for the amount of time that he wants to stick to it, or there may need to be some kind of like dietary change or something to make it work better for him. Can it be a success? Yes, but I feel like there's still a hurdle to be overcome. Nine of Cups. So yes, it will, but there's going to need to be something between now and the success to get to the success, a change of some kind in the planning, or the sticking to the plan or something. Or maybe it's needing external encouragement to make sure that he's holding himself accountable or something like that. So yes, but not, you're not in the clear yet, if that makes sense. Last week you said I have a blockage. That is true. That comes from a very powerful living spirit I can't seem to remove. It says royal on there. You said a very powerful spirit. It says royal on the typewriter. I don't know what that says. Together, coming with you. This feels like a need for a cord cutting. The Lover's in reverse. Very powerful living spirit. I can't seem to remove. It's almost like, I don't know if you've already done a cord cutting or you are unsure about doing one. It feels like why it's not going away is there something in your active perception of either yourself or how you fit in with others or something to that extent. It's like needing to reframe. How do I word this? Needing to reframe a perspective that you harbor because of this energy. And as you reframe that perspective, that is what cuts the cord. And it also feels like, yeah, High Priestess. It feels like it's an energy that's trying to shield itself in your energy. And the last shielding that it has is the fact that you're not seeing where it is because you're seeing from the same perspective. So reframing that perspective gets that energy out of your energy. My daughter is begging for you to send her any signs of moving and if she'll meet her soulmate. Moving. Soulmate. Soulmate, yes, but with the Six of Swords, I feel like she's going to meet someone who's not her soulmate, have to realize that that's not what she wants to settle for. And then as she breaks away from that person, she'll find the person that is that divine counterpart here. Moving, yes, but something in strategy or planning needs to be looked back into. Moving, it's almost like there's some element of it that she's not seeing that she needs to prepare for differently. I don't know if that's like, I guess I'd word it, if she's deciding between places and there's one that's like a little bit cheaper, or like it almost feels like she's going to need like a leeway or like a buffer, like so that she feels confident in the move, if that makes sense. So I do see it happening, but I would word it as it's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to the amount that she's signing up to spend on certain things. But I do see it happening. Just maybe also be very patient with it unfolding as well. Will I find love this year? If it's this year, it would be more towards like the very end of the year. I don't feel like it's this year though. I feel like you may meet someone this year that you end up falling in love with, but I don't know if the whole unfolding of it is going to happen by this year. But I see some form of self-sabotage that used to hold you back in the past. It's like there's someone coming in that you're going to get to see yourself in action and not undertaking in those same self-sabotage habits. So you're heading in that direction, but I wouldn't say it's this year per se, although you may meet the person this year that you end up falling in love with. But I don't feel like it gets there this year. Any advice? What should I do now in terms of current relationships with a partner? In terms of current relationships with a partner. This is like a difficult conversation that needs to happen, that you need to be the one to bring it to the table here. Five of Cups, it may be a triggering conversation for one or both of you. 10 of Swords in reverse, but it's the only way to move forward. 7 of Cups, you need to give yourself the tools that you're going to use. It feels like there's a need to have a difficult conversation and see if the two of you can get on the same page about something or not. Yeah, 3 of Swords. A difficult conversation is what needs to happen. Is my marriage okay? I worry due to my I worry due to my health, and my husband has distanced himself and worried there's someone else emotionally for him. Is there anyone else? They're a third party. No, I wouldn't say it's a third party. I would say emotional avoidance or frozenness. It's almost like I'm running from myself, or I'm running from anything that would trigger the emotions that I don't want to face. It doesn't feel like a third party. Walking on eggshells because something that I wanted to work this way didn't work that way. It feels like if you look back, there was a specific like ego trigger for him around the time he started pulling back. Whatever that is triggered a deeper wound, and now the deeper wound is the one that's directing his emotional availability, because it's like something triggered the wound, and now the wound is like sore. So every time it gets rubbed up against, it's like that whole initial pain again. It's needing to look at whatever that initial wound is that was re-triggered, because it doesn't feel like that initial wound has anything to do with you, but whatever happened with the ego wound feels like has something to do with you. So now he's relating you with the initial wound as opposed to separately, if that makes sense. Will I find a new job soon or return to the last job I had before? New job? Old job. Not old job. New job, yes, but with the 7 of Cups, I feel like either there's somebody you can talk to that would help you get an in, or there's like a different strategy to apply. This is like there's more tools that you could be using to bring it in sooner, but the Queen of Wands is that social queen. So it's like you're going to find a position, but how quickly depends on trying different strategies to apply, or maybe following up more, something like that. Something needs to be tweaked so it can happen sooner. But I don't see you going back to the old job. Let me do some of these really quick. My sister-in-law's brother, Ron Jr., did he unalive himself? Be a confirmation. This would be, I don't feel like feeling like I continuously take one step forward, 3 steps back. I can't face my emotions. So I took action. I would say yes. Get a confirmation. 4 Cups reversed. It's like something triggered what was previously numbed. It's like I don't want to face my emotions. I'm numb. But then something thaws that out and triggers it all in one action. 7 of Swords. Yeah, it feels like intending to avoid emotions and stay numb, but it didn't, something unnumbed. Can you tell me if I am gifted or why things just pop? It's like you're getting opportunities to wake up to be able to trust your intuition or wake up to your gifts. Nine of Swords is reversed, so there's a need to feel feelings as opposed to intellectualize them, because the feelings are the teachers that are showing you, Ten of Pentacles in reverse, what still needs to have a more solid foundation so that you can have the gifts coming and going instead of just poking at you, if that makes sense. It's like you're getting opportunities to pay attention to your intuition so you can develop your gifts, but the foundation is missing. So you're getting opportunities to see where healing or light still needs to be. It feels like you're being alerted to work on a money wound, like specifically around either self-concept or the way that you view yourself as worthy. It feels like that's tied in with the gifts that you're meant to be developing. It's like you need to see yourself from a position of being worthy of the gifts that want to come in. That's how I want to word that. You need to see yourself as worthy. And as you see yourself as worthy, you'll see opportunities to utilize the gifts that are already poking you and letting you know that they're there. Should I use Craigslist or a realtor for temporary home? Craigslist, realtor. I feel like you don't need the realtor. You don't need to be spending for the realtor. If you could get it done with Craigslist, with Ace of Wands and the Hierophant, this is like, I find a new beginning that I'm willing to commit to. So it looks like you can get away with using Craigslist. Page of Swords in reverse makes me feel like someone may drag you around a little bit. Like, I don't know if that's like trying to get more money out of you, or just you, if you're doing it on Craigslist, you're your top priority. If they're doing it for you, you're not the top priority. So I don't know if it's speed or money, but it feels like Craigslist is maybe not necessarily the better option, because they may be able to find things that you couldn't, but at the same time, the cost and time frame, it feels like, is better with Craigslist. I don't know, where am I now on this one? One second. Is my boyfriend losing interest in me? Him, you, energy between. Six of Wands is reversed, so you're not getting the victory here. Page of Wands is reversed. It almost feels like he can't be his fullest self around you. Page of Wands is all about self-exploration, but it's in reverse. Death in reverse, Seven of Wands in reverse. I feel like you are reading it as potential losing interest, but he is feeling like he can't be himself around you like he used to feel like he could be. Like, I used to be able to be more myself. Now I can't be as much myself. Six of Pentacles in reverse is like a one-way street. So I feel like you're putting more effort, energy into the relationship than he is. And I feel like it's because he feels like you care more than him, and it feels like that's freaking him out, because he feels like he can't all the way be himself. But I also feel like that's not really you that's causing that. Temperance in reverse. An imbalanced power dynamic. He feels like there's an imbalanced power dynamic. I guess I could word it as losing interest. I word it more as like, I feel like I can't be as much myself as I used to be. That could be because the relationship is progressing, or it could be because the relationship is stagnant. It's like, I guess, a feeling of like walking on eggshells, or what's that? The shoe thing. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. He feels like he's waiting for the other shoe to drop. How will we do financially this year and next year? This year. This year, it feels like there's some extra or added money going out that you'd really rather not go out. Next year, it feels like there's forward progress from what had to be spent. So it's like you spend something you didn't intend to have to spend this year, and next year you make up that deficit. Yeah, something unexpected. 5 of Pentacles. It feels like there's a either a large or like an unexpected expense this year that is then recouped next year. Was my cousin's death truly due to him overdosing, or the anonymous caller who called 911 intentionally overdosed him somehow? Was it due to him overdosing, or the 911 caller intentionally overdosed him? Queen of Swords is reversed, so I can't call for help. Ace of Cups in reverse, too much of something. Knight of Cups in reverse, 10 of Cups in reverse. I think I'd word it as okay, yeah. I feel like I'd word it as there was something that could have been done sooner that may have prevented him from passing, but that other person, the 911 caller, either waited or there's, it doesn't feel very clear cut, if that makes sense. Because it's like, I know I took too much of something, it ends up being too late, but then also I'm not a good friend, or I'm not someone who's really for you, and I'm not coming from a place of love. I should have done something a lot quicker or sooner. I felt frozen or unsure what to do, and I wasn't being a good community member. It feels like there should have been a phone call sooner, and the sooner phone call may have prevented what happened from happening. I don't feel as though it was like necessarily an intentional, like I'm going to overdose you on purpose, but I do feel like there is something nefarious in terms of like waiting to call, or maybe giving something to him that wasn't accurately represented in terms of strength or whatever it was. So there's something fishy, but I wouldn't word it as like an intentional, I'm intending to unalive you, but there's something I could have done to make it so it might not have gotten to that, if that makes sense. Direction, explore my sexuality with freedom. I don't want to say no to this, but I also am not getting like an emphatic yes. It's almost like look before you leap, or be very cautious and mindful, because the 10 of Wands, it's a heavy burden. Decision. Once you go down that path, it's a decision you can't go back from. I would say taking it slow and steady is going to be learning to trust yourself before sharing of what you're learning about yourself, if that makes sense. I would say spending more time seeing the bigger picture of the energy that you're stepping into before you start sharing that energy. So like, could be shadow work, could be journaling, could be meditation. It's like they're figuring out, showing up as confidently as possible in the energy you're going to be stepping into by spending more time with yourself before stepping out into the energy with others. Do I or my kids have psychic abilities? Feels like something's keeping you from being able to utilize or develop them, and there's a need to put time, effort, energy, and patience with yourself into developing them. High Priestess is reversed. So it is on the board, but it's in reverse. So are they there? Yes. Are they active? And like, do you understand how to use your specific gifts? It doesn't feel like right now, but that's something that you could develop. Death in reverse. It's almost like needing to address whatever chakra is keeping your channeling from, almost like if you're receiving Morse code for channeling and you're supposed to translate it into what the messages are, but there's a chakra block. So it's like you're getting 6 out of 7 of the codes and then the rest aren't making sense. So it's needing to unblock whatever chakra is blocked. I feel like it's your root chakra, which would keep you grounded and present and able to decipher the messages that you're receiving. So it's there. It just needs to be like a pipe being unclogged, essentially. I don't think I saw any of your questions so far. Try to type it in again. My mom's dog isn't keeping well. Will he be okay, or are we on borrowed time? You okay? Borrowed time. Will he be okay? Chariot's reversed with the 5 of swords. 5 of swords, like upright, would be there's a fighting chance to make progress, but the 5 of swords is reversed, so that would be no fighting chance, and then the chariot would be no progress. And then the hanged man, on borrowed time, we have the hanged man, which is like being stuck or suspended in place. And then the 2 of swords in reverse. It feels like 2 of swords reverse, a decision you can't go back from. It feels like that may be eventually putting him to sleep. I would say it feels like things don't necessarily improve. They stay maintained for a while, but I feel like it's borrowed time. Justice in reverse. Yeah, I feel like borrowed time. I feel like you may have a little bit more time because it feels like there's some kind of, I don't know, I get the energy of like problem and then fix the problem and maintenance for a while before there's another problem. So I feel like there may be time, but I also feel like it's borrowed time. Have I had any past lives? I feel as though this is my first one because I seem to do the dumbest things and don't seem to learn anything. I am sure that's not true. Page of Wands in reverse. Page of Wands in reverse here in this context, especially because this looks like the Akashic Records, would make me feel like it's just not something that you feel very tapped into. The Cups in reverse. Page of Swords in reverse. It almost feels like there's something that happened in a past life that you didn't want to remember. So you locked yourself out of it. Knight of Cups reversed, Ace of Swords reversed. I don't want to know about that. Don't tell me. It almost feels like you get bits and pieces of lessons that you learned in past lives through interactions with other people. Like you see the past life you in those interactions, and it may present as like deja vu, or like, what else is kind of like deja vu? I guess just deja vu or anything similar. Like you may feel almost like you're looking at a different version of yourself in some kind of interactions that you have with others, but it feels like besides that, for some reason you locked yourself out of like wanting to remember. So it's not that you don't have access to what you went through to use, but it feels like your subconscious process it instead of your consciousness. I feel like if you did like past life regression type meditations or intention setting, what would happen is you'd start to get glimpses of past life you in how you interact with other people. That's how it shows up for some reason. Will my youngest son be fine driving to school next year? Oh, I would say just being mindful of being on time, maybe a schedule, maybe like making sure he leaves. I'm not seeing any like danger, like anything that would happen to him on the drive. I'm seeing more of almost like as the school year goes, him leaving a little bit later, a little bit later, a little bit later, and kind of pushing it that way, or something to that effect. But I don't see any issues besides that. Yeah, the world. The Magician is reversed, so it's almost like I don't know, like cutting it close with time or picking up people, and you don't know that he's picking up people. Like that's the only thing I'd be saying that there's something to like feel worried about, is either not being on time or not being all the way honest with like if you don't want him picking up people when he picks up people or something like that. But I don't see any danger. Message from my guides. It's like some kind of intellectual stimulation that you are not giving yourself, but your brain is wanting in order to figure out a rededication of your energy. Four of Swords and Four of Pentacles. Five of Wands. It's like there's something that you're being called to look into or explore or do, but I don't know if it's like you don't have time or you maybe lose motivation for it or something. There's something that keeps coming up for you to invest energy in, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but there's something connected to that that's a big deal, if that makes sense. It would be like for me, if I started looking into true crime, a case, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I really like this, and started doing a whole thing. It's like that. It's like it didn't seem like that big of a deal, but then it leads to something else. So you're being called to take action on recurring things that keep coming up in terms of like intellectual stimulation that's guiding you towards something specific. I have to change cards. The cards are too slippery. That's better. Do I have any spiritual gifts? It feels like when you were younger in childhood, these were a lot more active, and it's just about going back and reactivating them by putting down a heavy burden of what makes you feel out of touch with them. And to reground yourself. Needing to reground yourself so you can access what you previously accessed when you were younger. Before what? Your gifts come from the solar plexus chakra. So like being in touch with your inner child, being present in the moment allows you to bring in information and channel, so long as you're not preoccupied with figuring out, almost like trying to convince yourself that you're not ready to access higher information because you have a wound that's like a 3D wound that your subconscious tries to convince you can't access the 5D information because of holding the 3D wound. So either healing the 3D wound or seeing yourself from a place as worthy anyway, even with the wound. So yes, it's just needing to go reconnect to re-access it and trust what you're receiving. Any update about career? I've been so drained by the volume of work and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. No update quickly. Feels like something's preventing a new beginning from unfolding here. But King of Wands is reversed, so it's not your fault. Almost feels like you're waiting on a decision from somebody else, or you're waiting for some kind of pivot in your situation after the decision somebody else makes on your behalf. I would say you're going to be drained for a bit longer. You've been drained from the volume of work. So if you're waiting on someone else's decision, it could be waiting on that person's decision to re-divvy up the work, but it feels like that is a bit away. It's not happening yet. It almost feels like either it's going to go on like this for a little longer than you would desire, or there may even be like an additional like push of more or something like that, for like a short amount of time before it eases up. So like increase and then evens back out, but it feels like it's going to be a little bit more time, unfortunately. I have hired an attorney to help me claiming a missing life insurance policy. Is he the right one, and will be I collecting the amount left to me? This is the past. This would be the situation. This would be getting down. I think in the reading I did for you, I think I referenced something being hidden behind a wall, if I remember correctly. Now the wall's in reverse. Planting seeds, ripping something out. Is he the right one? I feel like he may be able to figure out how to put pressure on people to give you the information that you need so you can locate the policy, and then it's what happens from there. But I feel like you're going to be making progress. There's still something up in the air. It's like positive progress in the right direction through some kind of communication that yields like a piece of the puzzle that you needed, but the Empress is reversed, so it's like not yet There's still more action needed. I feel like you're going to end up having a fight against one of the, what was it, his niece or his daughter or something like that. I feel like someone's going to fight you for something once you find, like, once you locate the policy and everything. I feel like someone then is going to step in and try and give you issues directly. I still feel like eventually you figure it out, but I feel like it's going to be a bit of ways away. My sister-in-law, Cheryl's grandpa, had a secret to tell her on his deathbed. What was it? Sister-in-law, Cheryl's grandpa had a secret. Something that one person in the family did not want other people to know about, and it's something that happened a while ago. But it would help give a different perspective on why things unfolded, I want to say in early adulthood, like they did for Cheryl. Cover up. I said something one person didn't want anybody else to know. Cover up. Family in reverse. Somebody in the family didn't want them to know. Family cover up. Oh, I feel like that was just confirming that I was on the right track, because those are that would be the 10 of Pentacles. Cover up's what I said. So what was being covered up that one person in the family didn't want the others to know? That had something to do with something that unfolded early in adulthood for Cheryl. 2 cards. Real news. Final ending in reverse. Do not resuscitate in reverse. Final ending. What? And fire out. Feels like something about someone else's passing. Oh. Gift. Oh. Something about someone else's passing gift. Something about inheritance, or something about something that was left to another person that somebody did not want other people to know about, something that was left or passed to another individual within the family, because they were afraid of what? Death in reverse. Afraid of negative change. Higher perspective. This would be like, if he wanted her to know about an inheritance that someone had received and where it came from because there was a lie about it or something. It's something to that effect. Yeah, devil. Something. Something he wishes could have been different. It feels like it has something to do with an inheritance or something that's left behind. I lost my spot. Is it worth me pursuing the person that owes me money, or should I leave that in the past and move on? What would happen if you did? Do I feel like you're going to get the money that's owed to you without having to spend that much to get it back? So like either I don't do anything that I have to spend money for and I don't get it back, or I spend X amount of dollars and I only get X amount back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like you're going to get the money without having to spend money to get it, but you're likely going to spend the same amount that what you get back. But I also feel like if you just try and let it go, it's still going to bother you. So there needs to be some other kind of closure. Yeah, we have Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Knight of Pentacles in reverse, Three of Pentacles in reverse, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I don't feel like you're going to get it back, but I also feel like you need to give yourself some kind of closure if you do decide to move on, so it doesn't keep popping up and refrustrating you. You told me my guardian angel who'd been with me since birth had reincarnated. Was that my father? Has your father reincarnated? Unstuck, ungrounded, painful ending. Not yet done. Unstuck. Cycle's not completed yet. No, I don't believe so. I worded it as, has he reincarnated? Was that your father? I don't believe he's reincarnated. I feel like he's still on some kind of mission. Some kind of mission that Eight of Pentacles work. No, I feel like he's still in the spirit world. What career does my future husband have? Something that fulfills him, that doesn't really stress him out that much, but that isn't his ideal current financial goal. I feel like there's a bit of transition happening right now. This feels like current energy, though. Like, I don't need to leave my current position, but it's not ultimately everything I need it to be yet. And I'm trying to be patient with myself. I feel like what this person's doing now isn't going to be what this person's doing when the two of you come together, because it feels like they're in an active state of transition. I don't want to worry about not having enough money. Where's that other deck? There it is. What will this person be doing? Careerist, dreamer of grand schemes. That would be, like I said, it's a state of transition. I'm in a career now. I'm hopping around. Carrier and soldier. Careerist, carrier, soldier. I'm not getting a direct answer. What I'm getting is that they're going to be doing something different when they're with you than what they're doing right now. And I have the Tower here flipped over as well. It feels like what they're doing later is going to be more lucrative than what they're doing now. Right now, it could be with the carrier, some kind of like postal or like shipping or something. But with soldier, it's like I go from that to a more serious job with some kind of like benefits or something like that. How is my health and my mother's health going to be in the next year? You are getting some kind of improvement on something, or You're either getting some kind of improvement from a change that you've already made, or you're making some kind of change that allows for an improvement. It feels like with your mother, there is going to be some kind of challenge, but not drastic. Justice in reverse. Something that may have been a struggle previously, but then ended up going well. It feels like there's going to be some kind of challenge with that. Not like a final challenge type of thing. This is like there's a solution and a treatment, but there's also like a speed bump to overcome. But it feels like not anything new, like something that she's already dealt with. Yeah, the devil. Two of Cups in reverse. Needing to come up with a different strategy or plan to combat what previously was an issue that ends up being an issue again. I went to a new doctor today. Did I choose the right doctor, and will she be able to help? This feels more like I end up connecting you with another doctor, and that doctor is able to help more so than I am the doctor that is able to help. But it also feels like you need that middle. It feels like this doctor will essentially be the middleman, but like you need the middleman to get to what other man is going to help. I would word it as you're heading in the right direction, but there still needs to be patience because we have 7 and 8 of Pentacles. You're taking a step forward, but there needs to be patience because you are getting pieces of what will work for you, but you're not quite there yet. There's still something that needs to be brought more into balance. I would say that this doctor is going to eventually get a second opinion or send you to a different, like this may end up being a referral type doctor, if that makes sense, but you're heading in the right direction. Will my 15-year-old grandson have a career in rugby? Not seeing that right now. Oh. It's either he will have the option to, but will end up choosing something else, or something happens that makes him kind of go in a different direction instead. That may not be necessarily his choice, but a better choice. I feel like he ends up doing something that he's going to be happy with in lieu of whatever happens with rugby. Not that it's not possible because the 10 of Swords is there, so it may be an injury that prevents it. So maybe there's like healing for that instead or something if that pops up. So it's not that it's not possible. I just feel like it's less likely right now. Looks like he ends up going a different direction. Oh, I just lost my sister. I'm sorry. Any messages? God Only Knows by the Beach Boys is playing, and this isn't even my Mediumship playlist. I don't even think this song is on this playlist. Oh, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, God Only Knows is the song. Communication, putting down a heavy burden. You're not leaving me behind by moving forward with your life and allowing yourself to be happy. If I could have said that to you before I left, I would have, that I'm coming with you for your adventures. You don't have to feel like you're leaving me in the past by continuing to move forward. an offer of knowledge. That's what I wanted to tell you. I wanted to tell you to not feel like you're leaving me behind by having good days and being happy. And there's something that she wishes she could have said to you before her passing, more specific. That maybe she'll tell you in a dream. We've been together in dreams. I'm reunited with pets, and I'm just a thought away. Pet on that too. Gives me the energy of like I'm not leaving your side. This feels very like heavy guardian angel energy. Like I'm not there anymore, and I'm instantly your spirit guide. You tell me if there was foul play involved in my father's passing in February 2023. Darkness, somebody that you should be able to trust that's untrustworthy. Blindfold, Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Cups in reverse, the Hermit in reverse. Something that people don't know isn't what is being represented. Somebody you should be able to trust that's untrustworthy, keeping something in the dark in order to keep others blindfolded. Ten of Pentacles in reverse feels like it has something to do with money, like not inheritance type money, like money before a passing type thing. Nine of Cups as well. I want to go with yes. There's something nefarious. Grandparents. Grandparent in space. So somebody else in his space. Is that the message? Somebody else in his space. Digital in reverse. Finances before passing. Digital in reverse. Deleting a paper trail. I want to say yes here, and if the answer is yes, can he give you one card that would be overwhelmingly obvious? That would be a confirmation. I don't even have to understand it. Maybe you'll just understand it. But what would his password be to you? Colt. Somebody controlling the strings. That would be Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Feels like something money related. Wanting to keep something money related out of other people's knowledge. If that makes sense. Does anyone have any messages for me? Somebody loving signs through nature. It feels like you're being alerted to pay attention to a disconnect between you and another person on earth. So like someone in heaven saying to you, be mindful of the disconnection between you and the other party of the person that's still on earth, and bridge that back together before it separates more from that person in heaven's guidance. So like a person in heaven would be saying to you, hey, be mindful that you and so are growing apart a little bit, or there's some tension, or there's some unsaid things or unfinished business. It's important to fix that, is the message from the other person in heaven. I'm standing right next to you. The earth is our school of lessons. I'm glad I got to experience so many wonderful things. Yeah, it's like trying to help you see the lesson that the other person that's still on earth is learning from how they're handling that situation of kind of feeling pulled apart. It's like, I guess I'd word it as the person in heaven is saying not to take it personally. The other person that you're growing apart from, or there's tension from, or whatever they're referring to, they needed a specific lesson that you were able to help provide for them. So not to take whatever's happening personally, but to still alleviate the tension or separation, if that makes sense. What's past life with Nicole? Any wicked step aunt? Past life with Nicole, it feels like you each went different directions. One went a spiritual route and one went like passion, career, more 3D, and one went more 5D, it feels like. Any wicked step-ons? Oh, your third eye told you about the woman that was a heavy burden. So I would say in a past life, you did have a wicked step-on. That would be her. Queen of Wands is upright, so I have the feeling that she faked it well. So it would be more like a behind closed doors type thing. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Is the Harmony Hub and Good Energy match for me to rent some space and offer readings to build up plans? Is the Energy Hub and Good Energy? No. There's something better. I don't necessarily think it's because the energy wouldn't be. No, I do. I don't know. There's something weird here. There's something better. Yeah, the Lovers. There's something better. Oh, and the song that's playing right now is Something More by Sugarland. It's almost like that holds you back in some way. It's not necessarily negative, but it's either demotivating or I don't know. It's like it puts a lid on your potential in some way. I feel like there's a better option. Will our house sell soon? Will our house sell soon? It feels like there's a way to help it happen sooner. I don't know if it's like some kind of upkeep in the house itself, or it's some kind of changing of who's representing you or the way that they're advertising the house. It's like something's holding it back from happening right now when it could happen right now. No, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of delay, but if whatever that is gets corrected, it could happen a lot sooner. There's something holding it back. September. I want to say this is before September of next year. I feel like that would be the longest it would take, would be September of 2025. And of course, it can happen a lot sooner than that, but I feel like that's the cutoff. If nothing changes, that would be the cutoff. But if you change whatever that thing is that feels like it's preventing it from happening now, it could happen very soon, a lot sooner. Will my left eye lose eyesight soon, this year or next? Let me see. We have an answer for the eyesight. Will Pat lose eyesight? Yeah, that's the confusing part. Will it be this year? This year opposed to next year? Next year opposed to this year? I feel like you're going to have a drastic decrease in sight this year, but then it's almost like it stays like that. Like it goes down drastically and then maintains is kind of what I'm getting. I think I'd word it as the amount that you have left at the end of this year. It feels like that's going to be how it is for a while. It doesn't feel like it's lost all the way though. And it feels like it maintains whatever that is for a period of time after. Yeah, Six of Swords in reverse, I split the deck too. That's like not moving forward, not improving and not getting worse. I feel like it drops and then stays there by the end of the year. Is my guardian angel my first true love? So I would say yes, but it almost feels like not in the context of love. I don't know if that's the right way to word it. Almost like this person would want you to find true love in this lifetime and not feel like because this person is with you as a guardian angel that you're like not being loyal or faithful. It's like almost like redefining your relationship to step in from a different energy. I feel like this person is from a past life with the Six of Pentacles. So it's like, it feels like you've played multiple different roles for one another in different lifetimes, friendship, romance, maybe like a boss or a sibling or something. It's like you've had different types of relationships. So this person is that guardian, but at the same time also like encompassed by the different roles that they played, if that makes sense. Like not just a guardian because they were your true love or your first love, a guardian because they've spent time from different perspectives interacting with you. Card. Don't be afraid to re-examine how you can show up for yourself in different ways without the feeling of codependency to a mindset or a person from the past. You're getting the opportunity to show up differently in certain facets of your life, but needing to shed the part of your consciousness that feels codependent to something or someone from the past. The upcoming chapter of your life is where you're going to start to enjoy the simple things again because of whatever that shift is that you made. Seeing this deck in my mind. There's nothing easy about realizing that you're the one that's been holding you back this whole time. Honesty and bravery are required at this time. Any messages for me? Okay, I'm going to stay on for about 10 more minutes. So I'm going to start doing speed ones because there's a lot. Okay. Any messages for me? Let yourself lean in more to what you feel passionately called to, because it's helping you find yourself again through expressing what you're taking in. So like, I learn about this and then I talk about this and I find myself in the process of doing that. So let yourself lean into what you feel passionately called to right now. This is self-exploration. You're getting like positive breadcrumbs that lead you back to a part of yourself that you feel disconnected from. So allow yourself to follow your interest and then share them, because you're going to find yourself in the process of doing that. Sean, have any messages and a song? There's an unfounded worry that you're going to soon see. I don't want to say it's like a waste of your time, but like you're putting a lot more time into a worry that's not going to end up playing out in the way that you're worried about. I had to leave that way, and we are so connected. You Can't Always Get What You Want by the Rolling Stones is the song. The limited mobility injury came out of nowhere. What is the message or lesson I'm supposed to get from this? Completion of a spiritual cycle. Limited mobility injury. So can't really move. What is the lesson or message? Almost like it's a physical manifestation of the internal spiritual lack of taking up space, or lack of feeling like you deserve to take up space, or how do I word this? Getting clarity on your expansion. It's a spiritual thing that has manifested into the physical so you can complete the cycle. So looking internally, where are you not expanding in the way that you're feeling called to? Where are you maybe holding yourself back, keeping yourself small, not taking up the space? Because as you work on what's going on internally, you're going to find ways to alleviate the physical manifestation of what's going on spiritually. Taking action. Taking action to realign with your magic. That would be the spiritual element. I would say looking into where you still feel like you're trying to dim or shrink yourself, and alleviating the root of whatever's causing those wounds, so that you can find the way to alleviate the physical manifestation of the spiritual battle. I'm trying to get to people that I haven't gotten to yet. Let me see. My grandson has autism. He is in diapers and nonverbal, 11 years old. Will he ever be able to speak? Right now, it feels like he doesn't have the foundation on which to deliver the messages, and he feels very stuck. Ongoing and persistent. I feel like without some kind of different treatment or changes, it's likely to stay the same. I always suggest looking into heavy metal and parasite detox cleanse. my son had very strong food aversions. He's also autistic. And that made a huge difference. Sometimes it's just the toxicity buildup in our body. It's not that it would cure the autism, it's that it would alleviate the strength of some of the symptoms, such as that. So I would say look into something like that. Other than that, it feels like more likely to stay the same unless there's something that is able to almost like alleviate the pressure type energy from the inside out. Justice, it feels like that may be something worth looking into, because with justice it may really help. If not with speech, then maybe with food aversions or something similar, but it feels like it's more likely to stay the same unless some kind of drastic new treatment is introduced. I don't know if drastic is the right word. New treatment is introduced. Will my daughter's mast cell issues continue to cause her health concerns? Mast cell. Yes, but I feel like there's a need for like a second opinion about something. Almost like, not necessarily that they got it wrong about what's wrong, but that maybe someone's not seeing the availability of a treatment that would help alleviate certain pieces of what she's dealing with. It does feel like it's going to continue to cause issues, but it also feels like someone's not telling her all the potential solutions. Yes, but I would continue getting more opinions from different types of doctors, because it feels like there's something that's available that would help alleviate the stress of it, or some of the symptoms of it. My spirit guides have any messages for me prior to tomorrow? A new beginning is coming. Where there previously was setbacks, you're going to be released from them, and justice will be restored. You're heading towards justice being restored. You tell me if my youngest son has any good job prospects coming up. Better Days by Dermont Kennedy. Better days are coming if no one told you. Any good job prospects coming up? I feel like there's something specifically that he's expecting that's going to be an issue, and that feels like it is going to be an issue. And then things... It feels like right when he's at his wit's end is when something comes in. It feels like it's going to be a little bit more time. It's not going to happen soon. And it also feels like there's either a competition, like between him and another person or another company, or there's like some kind of issue that makes things worse before they get better. Yeah, it feels like it's going to be a minute, and it's when he feels like, okay, I feel like I'm going to lose my mind. That's when something ends up working out or coming in or being fixed. Should I go for the breast cancer test to see if I have the gene? I would say yes. This would be family. This would be seeing if it's passed through the family. Do I think it's going to be an issue for you? No. But do I feel like either having the peace of mind or having a check is beneficial? Yes. But do I feel like it's going to be something that like pops up as an issue right now? No, but there's benefit in knowing. Why does my ex keep reaching out to me after 3 years? What are his intentions? Him, you. How do I word this? If I'm the ex, I want to see myself in action through someone who knew me in the past to see if the changes I feel like I've made are going to be able to be sustainable. I'm choosing you because I have interest in you. But at the same time, I'm trying to use you to gauge and judge if I'm really who I say I am. Because I know if I'm not, then I know how to end things with you and back up. I back up from it. I would word it like that. It's I want to see my own healing and growth in action through someone who I know would be an accurate representation of so maybe an accurate representation of me. So like maybe this person feels like you would tell them how it is, or they trust your discernment and judgment. It's like trying to see themselves through the mirrored reflection of you, and also trying to see if they would still have access to you. There is interest there, but there's also like a double thing, a double meaning. What jobs should I apply for, and will I be moving next year? I would say to not sell yourself short with the jobs that you're going to be applying for. It feels like something in either planning and strategy or management and overseeing, or it could be something in the finance realm, but this is like something that feels out of your comfort zone, that feels like a little bit of a stretch is what you end up getting. Will I be moving next year? No, I don't see moving next year. But this may be a type of job that would relocate you. So that may be something that unfolds in the future. But I feel like in terms of job, you're going for something that feels like a stretch or a reach a little bit, some kind of like authority position, high responsibility position, or finance, planning, and strategy position. Would love a message from Spirit for the week. What previously was an insecurity or a doubt of yours is about to become like a key to moving forward. Strength, because you overcame Knight of Pentacles. You learned how to be patient with yourself. And because you learned how to be patient with yourself, you're going to see yourself from a different perspective that allows you to figure out how to move forward in a way that you previously felt stuck. You're learning the truth about an unfounded worry. You get tested the most when it's time for you to elevate, don't break. Anything for me? there's something that you've been waiting to address, and you're being guided to address it sooner rather than later. It's almost like face the fear, and you'll see that the fear is not as scary as what you think if you take some kind of guided action to alleviate what you're worried about. Oh, guided action and you. That's a confirmation. What's the worry about? The Tower's reversed, so something not as bad as you think. 5 of Swords in reverse. It would allow you to get out of your head. 10 of Cups, and find a way back to happiness. I would word this as there's something that you're avoiding, but the only way out is through, and you're strong enough to face it right now, which is why it's being brought up. How to improve my health issues. Communicating on a different path. Feeling locked out from communication. Improve my health issues. Trapped. Feels like something you're currently doing may be irritating your progress instead of making it go in the direction that you want it to go. This could be needing to start from scratch and reevaluate, like not dieting, but diet, what you're taking in. It almost gives the energy of like something working against you before there's even any health issues, that if you start to alleviate that first root thing, it'll help alleviate the issues that come with it. For some reason, I'm feeling like nutrition is playing a big role here. The example that I'm seeing is, you know, when they test what you're allergic for and they put like a bunch of needles in you and they see, I guess, how your skin reacts to different things. That's the example I'm getting. It's almost like there's something working against you that's not causing your health issues, but irritating your ability to create lasting change in them, if that makes sense. The Magician in reverse. So being set free. Student, money, thoughts, and messages. Student. It's like needing to learn what it is that's keeping you from feeling that lack of freedom within yourself. So it's something that's keeping anything from flowing effectively or processing effectively. I feel like it has a lot to do with gut health and nutrition. That's where I would spend the energy right now, looking into those things. Gonna do about 10 more and then hop off. Oh, I lost my spot. My ex has a granddaughter. I was hoping to give me insight on how to go about seeing her again. Where I live, same-sex marriage is illegal, but we were married for 16 years. Ex has a granddaughter. I was hoping to see her again. It feels like it's possible to do so, but it also feels like there's a lot of unfounded resistance. I don't know if it's from, it doesn't feel like it's from the granddaughter. It feels like it's from the ex. Truth. I'm wondering if there's another person besides your ex that you could talk to about setting something up, because for some reason it feels like going straight through the ex isn't the best idea. The Emperor, like, I'm going above your head. I'm wondering if that means like writing a letter or something and leaving it in their hands to reach back out to you instead of a direct confrontation. It feels like needing to take a like a beat around the bush type energy to get there, not doing it directly for some reason. I almost want to word this as like meeting at a common meetup space, like a neutral meetup space. Because it feels like it's possible, but there's going to be resistance. And I feel like the resistance is coming from the ex. Had a miscommunication with my business partner. Will we sign our partnership agreement together this week? There'd be a lack of celebration. This would be the business partnership, and this would be kind of feeling defeated. I feel like there's a delay of some kind. Not that it's not going to happen, but I feel like there's a delay. 6 of Swords is reversed. Almost like maybe the other person is going to want to try and revise certain things that are in what was already the formed agreement, and then there's a delay in like processing it with the changes. It feels like the other person's dragging their feet a little bit, and there may be a little bit of a delay. It does look like it happens, but I'm not confident that this week will be the week. Does my dad have any messages for me? Something that you achieved, it's almost like you blew past and kept going and didn't celebrate in the moment what you had overcome. And it's almost like there's a piece of looking back at that event or that opportunity. I don't know what word to use. Whatever it is that has been overcome, there's something in there that would help right now to shift your perspective about something that's holding you back. Almost like subconsciously there's a bit of self-sabotage that would be overcome by looking at what you already overcame from a different perspective and not breezing past something that was very difficult for you, but in the past you wouldn't have been able to achieve like you were able to achieve now. So there's this feeling of like being proud of yourself, but also like there's a bigger purpose of being proud of yourself. Like there's something you're going to get out of a shift of perspective by looking back at what it is that you overcame that you accidentally breezed past after you overcame it. You have nothing to feel guilty about, and there is no such thing as death. Is my intuition about Amelia's bio dad true? Did any happen to her? Why did he only have supervised visits with his other daughters? Is your intuition about the bio dad true? I would say there's truth to what you got intuitively, but there's also a bit of fear. How do I word this? You got something intuitively that is correct, but also there was fear added to that that made it feel bigger or worse than it was. So there's truth in what you intuitively picked up, but there's also things that are in the like what you think about it now. There's things in, if you take everything you think about it now and put it in a bucket, there's stuff in there that is intuition, and then there's stuff in that bucket that's fear, based off of worst case scenario fears that have come to fruition because of the intuition, that are kind of mixed in together, if that makes sense. Did anything happen to her? I would say Justice reversed and Nine of Swords. There's something to be worried about. I have Six of Cups that flipped over as well. That would be her, the child, or the Amelia. Why did he only have supervised visits with his other daughters? To keep an, it's freedom, to keep an eye on and make sure that he was balanced. This feels like potential previous neglect or previous not doing everything that I needed to be doing, and now someone needs to watch me to make sure that I'm doing everything I need to be doing. I feel like you think it may be because of something inappropriate happening. I don't think that that's why, but I do feel like something, that's not to say that something hasn't happened. It's just to say that that doesn't feel like the reason for it. It feels like the reason for it has something to do with neglect. I had the Devil on the bottom of the deck too. There we go. The Devil was on the bottom of the deck too. So I feel like that's not to say that other things haven't happened that are not good, but the reason for the visitation seems to be related to neglect or not doing what he needed to be doing and being caught in that. Any words from Grandma Shirley? Allow yourself to be in a state of receiving so that you can be supported. You're not a burden by expressing what's on your mind and in your heart. There's something from the past that you've been holding on to that needs to be transmuted, and it feels like it needs to happen through expression or communication with another person. But it needs you to be in a state of receiving so that you know that you can receive the support you need after the release of that. We will be together again, reaching out to you, unknown phone calls and voicemail with static noises. That would be the conversation. Okay, so not just expression. It feels like to transmute, there needs to be a conversation with another person to get closure to what there previously was no closure to. And a song. Hold on 1 second. Knocking on Heaven's Door by Guns N' Roses is the song. Was our move from California to Alabama the wrong time or decision? Was it the wrong time? Was it the wrong decision? Deception that a different path could be taken. A wrong decision. Stuck in the past. Lack of community. I feel like there was a better time for it to happen, almost like some piece was rushed. Hierophant's reverse, so lack of commitment to seeing it from the higher level. It almost feels like, not necessarily that it was the wrong decision, but it feels like something was rushed that made certain choices not be the right choices into the move. So like, not this literally, but for example, if I rush this and I end up choosing a house that I don't love, that's not in the best place that I need it to be, or something like that. It's like certain decisions that were made because of something that may have been a little bit more rushed. Those decisions were incorrect. Not incorrect, but like will need to be found solutions to. So I feel like between the two, the timing feels rushed or that there was better timing, but there's a way to take action to correct the decisions that were made based off of the timing that maybe weren't the best possible decisions. So not wrong decisions, but like a potential better option if the timing would have been more aligned. Any insight on my brother's struggle with cancer? Are any of the treatments working? Right now, I don't necessarily feel like there's going to be drastic improvements, but I do feel like things are not going to get worse right now. So I guess I'd word that as the right action that's getting the most benefit that's possible right now, which doesn't look like progress per se, but the progress is that things aren't getting worse, where without the treatment, they would be getting worse. So I'd word that as they're working. It may not look like they're working because it's not improvement that you're seeing, but it's the lack of, what's the opposite of improvement? It's not getting worse, and that is the improvement. I feel like it's just patience is needed right now. I feel like eventually they do start to improve, but right now it feels like it's more of like a maintaining energy right now. I'm going to try and see who I haven't gotten to yet. Will I be moving soon? Whatever you define as soon, no. Patience and a delay. It feels like there's still more like ducks in a row needed to happen before that goes through. Does it eventually happen? Yes, but not soon. Past life. Industry, discrimination, charity. Why charity? Abusive relationship, giving, discrimination, industry. This is like I get out into the world and I see something wrong and I can't ignore it, so I need to try and fix it. False start, lack of self-exploration. This is like I go out into the workplace or workspace and I see something that is wrong, immoral, unjust, and I spend a portion of my life fighting against that, putting myself aside to correct whatever I see is wrong. Word that is like martyr energy. Martyr for a cause energy. My dad have any messages for me? You define your worth, not other people. So remember that other people will project onto you what they're feeling about themselves. And it feels like that's happened recently and it's affecting you, but it's affecting you without you recognizing that it's actually not the way that somebody else felt about you. It was a projection of how they felt about themselves. So there's a need to be very mindful about who you're giving access to your energy. And making sure that the people that you're bringing with you to the top want to see you at the top type energy. I would say the message is to don't downgrade your value or the way that you see yourself based off of the projections of someone else who's coming from a wounded place. I know you feel so much hurt and pain, but I promise it's going to get better. I watch over you every day, every hour, every minute. Never feel like you are alone. See yourself through his eyes to help you remember your value. Any messages regarding my soul path? Can I work on intuitive work or focus on healing? Intuitive work, healing. I feel like branching out into intuitive work allows you to complete the healing that you haven't already completed. Like the either seeing yourself in action or sharing of your light and gifts feels like that's the next step. Almost like you've done a lot of healing, you focused on healing a lot, and now it's time to action the healing that has taken place. Yeah. Seeing yourself in action. This is self-exploration. So I've explored the internal facets. Now I need to project them externally so I can explore them as well. I would lean more towards intuitive work. Will I get a job and romance? I swear I dropped the 10 of Wands. I feel like there's either like a follow through or reaching out to someone about the job. It's like there needs to be some additional action taken on your part that you haven't taken yet. It feels like it's going to be a minute for the job. It does come through, but after some kind of action that you're resisting. I don't know if that's switching the way that you're applying to different fields of work, or talking to someone that may help you be getting a foot in the door somewhere. It does happen, but there's additional different kind of action needed for you. Romance, it feels like there's a need to get into the state of receiving by remembering what you bring to the table and know that you are the prize, just as the person you're attracting will be the prize. So if you don't see yourself as that, you're going to attract someone who doesn't see themselves as that either. So needing to heal when it comes to self-concept will help you attract the right partner. My boyfriend has lung cancer. Will he beat it? You know about lung cancer. I feel like it's not something that he's ever going to be completely in the clear from, but I feel like he has, how do I word that? I guess I'd word it as beating it to an extent, but I don't feel like it's going to be something that's completely gone. I feel like it's something that is still going to cause certain complications or certain hiccups or certain frustrations, but I do feel like it's going to be in a place where it's maintainable and manageable for him to go about like essentially normal day-to-day life, but with certain minor burdens that he has to carry with him. I feel like it's going to take a minute to get to that, but I feel like it's going to be something he can live with. I don't know if that's the right way to word that. It gets to the point where it's manageable, is what I'd say. At work, they reduce my work hours. Is it a way to tell me to quit or get another job? I wouldn't say it's a way to tell you that. I would say it's them starting to make adjustments and seeing how those adjustments will play out in like the context of work. So I don't know if the adjustment is your specific position getting filtered out, or if it's what roles do you have and how do we divvy that up when you're not here. So I don't think it's necessarily directly telling you to quit or get another job, but I think it's we're making changes and what you're seeing is how those changes are coming out on your end. So I feel like, should you start to put feelers out there to see if another job is available for you sooner rather than later? Yes. So you have peace of mind and can go into calmer waters. So I get it, not like they're saying, okay, let's lessen their hours so that they get the hint to quit. More of, okay, we're going to make these changes based off of if this position or person is no longer here, let's test that out and see what happens type of thing. Will my son, granddaughter, and I come together as a family soon? In terms of soon, the way that you would like it to be soon, I don't think it's your definition of soon. I think it's longer than that. There's more patience required. It feels like somebody's holding this back. Well, my son, granddaughter, and I. Wondering if there's someone in your son's ear that's preventing this from happening, or that your son is not believing a truth that you tried to provide about a situation. There's something like that. It feels like it needs more patience. Someone's unwilling to see the situation from a different perspective. Eventually, yes, but not soon. Island in the Sun by Weezer is the song. We're on a holiday. I feel like at the very soonest, there'll be progress at the end of this year. I don't feel like it'll be sooner than that. Court continued. What's my stalker guilty of actually doing? Should I follow through and sue? Keep fighting it. What's my stalker guilty of actually doing? So because we can see the inside of the stomach here as the world, it makes me think of like you shouldn't be able to see inside the person's body, essentially. And the sun and judgment here, it feels some kind of like invasion of privacy type thing. Like I'm getting access to seeing something I shouldn't be seeing, and I'm using that information in a way that I shouldn't be able to use it. Planting seeds. Should I follow through and sue? What is that term? Hold on one second. Fishing exposition, is that what it is? Fishing exposition refers to someone overly investigating or demanding information from an individual or organization. I feel like it's going to put you on a fishing exposition where you're not going to be able to get enough information to make it present the way you want it to present. Or they're going to keep needing more, and it's going to be like this endless thing. I feel like it's going to be difficult to sue. I would get advice like bring everything you have. Oh, in need of finding concrete proof. That makes sense. I feel like without the concrete proof, it's almost like no point, because it's going to end up as that fishing exposition. Not that there's no point to get justice for you, but like realistically, do I think that they're going to take it the way it needs to be taken? I feel like no. Divorced 20 years, been talking to a nice lady. She's 44 and I'm 64. Will this eventually come together? Something manifesting. I feel like she eventually gets cold feet or starts to back away. It's almost like it ends up coming closer to that happening and then pulls backwards. Yeah, I feel like it's a good experience for each of you to have. Like, you're each learning things. So I wouldn't say to just stop, but I would say to not get your hopes up too much, because it feels almost like there's at least a period of time, if not indefinitely, where someone ends up having cold feet and pulling their energy back. Will my divorce end well for me and my son? Yes and no. I feel like you end up finding yourself again, feeling like yourself again, figuring out what you enjoy in life again, and the connection with you and your son benefiting because of that. But at the same sense, I feel like there's something finances that ends up being stressful or not going your way, or causes like an ongoing prolonged problem. Needing to put out more money to get away from something that I didn't want to do. I feel like you find yourself again, you start to feel better again, but there is some kind of financial strain that you're going to have to deal with until you're completely free of the burden of it. Have I found the man I'm meant to be with forever? I wouldn't say that. I do feel like that you each are playing a necessary role in one another's lives, but this is the Holy Grail in reverse, and this is commitment in reverse. And that's freedom. So I wouldn't say forever, no. Will my son get his job? If you're talking about a specific job, I don't feel like this is the one that he's going to end up getting. I feel like there's patience needed because there's something better coming. All right, I'm going to do 2 more and then I have to hop off. I'm sorry, guys. I tried to get to as many people as I could. But I'm going to schedule another one for next Monday. And I think from now on, I'm going to start at the ones that aren't already filled out when I come in. That way it's more fair, because there's a lot of you in here and I'm not able to get to. Anything on who I was or what I need to know about my past life? It says healer energy, giving the gift of helping to put down a heavy burden by using some kind of 5D energy. World War. Swindler. Giving like gypsy energy. Fall of civilization. This is like you going in and offering to help heal people from trauma or chaos or literal war. Like it could be like a medicine woman during war or something to that effect, or like a spiritual healer during the Crusades or something. Like there's chaos and bad things happening, and you come in and offer healing. Was my partner attracted to the girl on the boat in Mexico? Partner, girl, energy between. Partner, Eight of Swords in reverse. I'm looking a little too long, or I'm crossing some kind of energetic line. Girl on the boat, King of Wands in reverse. It doesn't feel like if he was, it was mutual. Eight of Cups in reverse. I'm not unfulfilled. I keep looking back. I would say there was some attraction. Oh, Queen of Cups. I would say there's one-sided attraction, though. It doesn't feel like it was back and forth. And secrets being revealed, King of Swords. Yeah, I feel like there was, but it wasn't something that he wanted to actively pursue. More just like, I wish I wasn't attracted, or I shouldn't be looking. It would be like I shouldn't keep looking back type of thing, if that makes sense. Any thoughts on Madeline Soto's case get closure? Does Madeline need that, or has she moved on? Madeline Soto. The truth is that she's a little less burdened because of someone being held slightly accountable, I guess I'd say. Oh, that's interesting. In my mind, I just changed the song, and Fight Song came on by Rachel Platten. This is my fight song. So this is the stepdad, right? And then the devil came out, and I said, who is the devil? Is it him? I got Eight of Swords in reverse, freedom. So the devil is free. I'm happy that he's paying a little bit, but everyone responsible is not paying. The mom. Are we going to get full closure on this? I don't feel like the mom is going to end up paying as much as she should if she does it all. I feel like Madeline's okay, but I would say that she's aware that full justice has not been served. All right, two more, and then I'm hopping off. Is this the last place? Is this the last place I will live? It's like there's some kind of issue that arises that makes it so you almost move and then don't. Yeah, that's the issue, and then there's change brought to the issue. I would say I don't see you moving I don't see a move happening. I see something that's frustrating that needs to be overcome, that at first you may feel like it's a better idea to move, and then there ends up being a solution for that. I don't know what to do about my son's father. We live together but have no togetherness, if that makes sense. I'm okay, but he's annoying with not helping with finances. The Tower. Tower, lack of financial support. Needing to get on the same page. The Four of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles. The Tower is needing to take a step back to get on the same page. Seven of Swords in reverse, a change of strategy, Justice in reverse, imbalanced dynamic. It feels like there needs to be a difficult talk, otherwise things are not going to change. It feels like the difficult talk isn't going to necessarily go over smoothly. There's going to be a lot of resistance, but it feels like it's one of those situations where, would you want to relive the same day that you're living now in 5 or 10 years? Because if not, change needs to happen now, because every day that it doesn't happen, it's just solidifying his position more, where he feels like he doesn't have to change. So I would say starting to lay the foundation to go over what's not working, what's imbalanced, and have the conversations that I feel like you're avoiding because you don't want to rock the boat and you don't want to cause problems around your son, or you don't want to, have to come home to tension. But I feel like avoiding that is prolonging the issue as well. So there needs to be that difficult conversation. All right, everyone, I have to hop off. I'm running out of energy. I will be back on for another subscribers live on this upcoming Monday. Sorry to anyone I did not get to. Oh, there's a lot. From now on, I think we're going to I'm not going to start the questions that were left before I hopped on. That way I feel like it's more fair. Oh yeah, there's a lot that I didn't get to. Maybe I'll try to do another subscribers live this week if I'm able to. If not, I'll be on Monday. Thank you to my mods, and thank you so much to everyone for being here. Sorry if I did not get to you. And to my mods, if you've sent me an email, please give me till the end of the week to reach back out to you. A little bit behind. Thank you so much to everyone for being here.